that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
Fresh Out.
Know that they ride or die. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side. Know that they ride or die. I keep boys by my side.
Introducing your host, Albert Robinson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Fresh Out. You guys caught me at work. I'm in a truck right now, but that's what we're here for, to keep it raw and real and everything that's going on. I'm here with Kendall Wallace, and we're going to have a very interesting show today. I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hey everybody, I'm the junior producer of Real Roots Multimedia, producers of the Fresh Out Show. I wanted to meet you, Albert, and find out why you're doing this show. What really inspired you to think of doing it and taking up the reins?
Well, while I was incarcerated, I saw that there were a lot of men, particularly African-American men, minority men, that were doing long stints incarcerated and coming home and having those everyday struggles. And, we were keeping in contact with each other. And so I just saw some of the same struggles, and I kind of wanted the world to see this, reality shows and be honest with you, prison culture is kind of part of pop culture now. And so I wanted people to kind of see the struggles and pains of everything that incarcerated men and their families go through. So, and I thought this was the best way. And I thought documenting my struggles would kind of be the best way to get it out there.
Okay. So what was it like when you first got out, just you personally? Was there a close?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I actually thought that because I was keeping up with like my family, I was calling, we have TVs, or radios. I was keeping up with culture, but to be honest with you, like, it was a shock. It was just, there are so many experiences that you're deprived if you're incarcerated. So then hitting that world all at once, it hit me at once, and I was overwhelmed. Just using the phone, using technology, everything that everybody's used to, it didn't come to me fast. And I was one of those men who, I was born in '87, so computers, laptops, smartphones. I was home for all that, so I wasn't used to being around the curve. I'm behind the curve, and so that was adjustment. There was a lot of frustrations. It was rough. It was rougher than I thought it would be, for sure.
Okay, so how long did it take for you to really get used to this stuff? I know you said it was frustrating. Were there any times you know what, I quit? I'm gonna just
Yes. I came home on a Thursday. I probably quit Sunday once or twice, but I think it was gradual. I can't really give you a set time of how long it took for me to adjust. It was gradual, and I'm sure it probably still is gradual. I had to handle some errands today. I'm using my phone, and I got kind of frustrated. And I think maybe if you or somebody else had to do those same things, and you maybe would have gotten it quicker. So I'm not sure. So it's just a gradual process of picking up on everything. My daughter had to turn my Xbox on. I couldn't even turn the Xbox on. So I mean, it was just a gradual process. It's like if you take a 9-year-old and just throw them out there one day. That's kind of what it was like.
Okay. I mean, I'm glad that you got used to everything. That's what matters. How did you get your job
though? Luckily, and God is good, and my faith is strong. But my family, while I had been gone, my family had been building a logistics company. So they had some box trucks and a semi truck, some vans, some Sprinter vans. So when I came home, they gave me an opportunity. They gave me a lane, and that's how I got started in trucking. It was just by God's grace, because everybody coming home doesn't have the opportunity. And it was a blessing and a curse for me, actually, because they just threw me in the fire. They handed me the keys to a box truck and said, like, go do that. And that was a whole separate frustration, but I'm happy about it, because that's the best way to learn. You have to do it.
So had your family always been supportive after you returned back? Were there any hard conversations that y'all had before or after you were incarcerated?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I come from one of those big families, those big dramatic, toxic at times, just families, and so it was good and bad. I definitely had their support. We definitely had rough conversations. Just me coming home, like I was basically a kid when I left. I was 21 years old, so now I'm coming home in my 30s, and I'm a different person. And so yeah, we had tough conversations about who I am now, what I want to do, and like as I was getting frustrated with things, they were getting frustrated with me. Maybe not catching on that fast, or um, wanting me to act a certain way and be a certain way. You know, people have expectations,
Yeah.
and so yeah, it was rough, but I always had their support, and I don't know. I guess part of my frustration too was here coming home and then just them expecting me to be the man that they expected to be immediately.
Mhm.
So that was more pressure, you know, and that was part of. But that's a part of life, you know. And that's the thing. Just getting back to normal life could be a task when you're incarcerated, which is sad. And I think in some kind of ways we have to address it. But I guess we're getting that at, later time.
Yeah, okay. So you say a lot about how you were a different man when you came in than when
Hmm.
you got out. So how do
Yeah.
you think that changed? How do you think that being here changed you?
Um. Gosh, that's another tough question, and it's a question that I probably should ask them too. You know, and again, that'll come at later times. Getting my family, my mom, my daughter, my sisters, brothers involved and getting their perspective. But I think that what I think people need to understand is that when you're incarcerated in a men's facility, because I don't know much about women's facilities, but there's a certain level of defense you put up, a
Mm.
certain level of masculinity that you wear, and I thought I could just shake that off, and I think that I didn't do that as well as I would have hoped, because what was happening was any sign of any kind of what I deemed to be disrespect or offense, like I was especially sensitive to it, and
Mm.
I think that threw them off because they weren't used to that. And I had to tone that down to be mindful of that. Um, so that was a new part of my character I had to address. And then just me being like more independent, wanting to go my way. Like I said, I was young when I left, and I was around. I was little Albie, as they call me. But now I'm home and I'm Albert, like I'm a man, and I'm asserting myself as a man. And I'm sure that people weren't used to that. And in a normal sense, that would be a gradual process. But now it's all at one time.
Yeah. Okay. Is it kind of overwhelming to be this new person now? Because I mean, it's such a large portion of your life was spent behind bars. So like,
Yeah,
it never get like stressful to really understand that now that you're more of an adult or more grown or
yeah,
however you phrase it,
yeah, yeah.
how you gotta readjust as this new
Mhm,
person.
mhm. Is it frustrating? I'll be honest with you. I think being a man in general is a frustrating process, but having to do it in the fashion that I'm doing it is definitely frustrating. Um, it's tough because I'm coming home and I'm a son, an adult son, which could be a task in and of itself, but I'm also a father to now a teenager, and that got through at me all at once. And yeah, it's definitely a frustrating process. And like I say, being a man is frustrating. So if you could imagine your adulthood being handed to you on a specific date. They told me November 18th, and I was expected to be a man that day, a
Mm.
responsible man with his stuff all put together. So if you can imagine what that feels like, if the world can imagine what that feels like, that's what I'm feeling. That's what's happening.
Okay. So do you ever think that that feeling will go away, or is that something that you just have to live with?
Um, I'm not sure if I've thought about it. What happens is whatever you go through, you adjust. Like I never would have thought if you would have asked me a month before, like I would be able to adjust to prison. You just adjust to your feelings. I adjusted to that. I'm home and I'm adjusting to that. It's just one of those things that happen. One thing I've learned is that people will adjust to their situation no matter what it is.
Okay. So, I mean, this is your chance to not be humble.
Right. Say that again.
You think you're adjusting really well? Do you think you're doing, a little better, a little worse, average? Like, where do you?
I'm one of those people that need constant positive affirmation. So there are days where I'm doing horrible and I can't believe that my life has taken this turn. But then somebody will say something, or I'll wake up one day and I'll see the progress I've made. I've known people that have come home and failed. I've seen it a lot. I've known people who've come home and done really well. So I think on the scale, I'm doing pretty well. You're right. I'll pat myself on the back. I'm doing pretty well. I'm able to provide for myself. I'm able to I was able to take my mother's out for her first Mother's Day, and my sisters as well. Well, I don't know how that happened, how they got in the mix, but to take everybody out for Mother's Day, I'm able to spend time with my daughter and contribute to her shopping habit that me and her will have to discuss. So I'm doing pretty well with everything that I've been through.
Okay, and is this type of job with your podcast?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you would consider it a job, but do you believe that it is also kind of a benefit, something that you're doing to readjust, or is it something that you're doing for other people? Is it something for you or more for them? That's kind of what I'm going for.
That's a good question. I guess it'll be both. I think for me it'll be therapeutic. I'm one of those Black men that is not too big on going to see people and to talk and lay all your feelings bare for the world to see. And I think I need to be more comfortable doing that. So this is my way, I think, of doing that. And then I think people need to know. People need to see like what's going on. Like in so many ways, this system is not fair, and it's not right, and it's breaking people down. And I had to tussle with it, and in a lot of ways, I'm still tussling with it. As people are going to see over the course of this process with me putting my life out there, man, the penal system in America is hurting people, and those people are hurting other people. Like even early on in this process, like me dating, me dealing with my family, like there have been times, even probably with my daughter, like there's been times when I'm sure I've hurt them. Since while I was away for sure, but even while I've been home, not being conscious of my emotions and my feelings and how I'm interacting. Like even when I'm playing, sometimes it comes off aggressively. Yeah. So I think people need to know that like that's not like when guys come home from prison, even if they seem overly aggressive, it's not intentional. And you're still talking about a human being. So this is a little bit for myself and for other people.
Okay. And how long have you been thinking about this? How long has this been in the works? Because I know you said it's been a lot for how you can open up.
Yeah.
Have you thought about it?
Yeah. There were days, all you really have if you're incarcerated is media, really, because your conversation is going to be limited with the guys you're around because all of you guys have been cut off. All you guys are in the same environment, so you got TV. Use TV and books to kind of placate you in prison. So I was watching things on TV. I was watching people do podcasts, and I was watching the world wanting to watch other people. So I sat on that bunk a lot, and I thought about it, and then coming home, I kind of wanted this. I thought about it a lot, but there was so much coming at me. And so I'm actually kind of glad that this is actually coming to fruition. Something I had in my brain is actually coming to fruition. So, because it's been a while, so it's literally been years in the making, coming from just a thought I had one day watching Love and Hip Hop to actually doing this and putting this together. So,
okay, so I read in your bio that you were incarcerated for around 12 years.
Yes.
Aside from coming up with the idea of the podcast while watching Love and Hip Hop,
right.
What else would you consider to be your most valuable lesson while you were in there?
Um, discipline. Discipline was the most valuable lesson I learned while I was away because, as I said, I was a kid, and Barbara Keller was one of my mentors would tell you, I was impossible. In a lot of ways, I still am. It's like, okay, you violated me, I'm gonna get it back in blood. Like that's how I function. That's how I thought. And that's a form of trauma that Black youth face in America. Like that's the way we're taught. Like if you won't be willing to die about your pride.
Mm-hmm.
And so learning to control my anger and control my emotions has been my most valuable lesson, because the way that the penal system is set up is they can use that against you.
Yeah.
They can hold you for however long they want. So you have to have discipline, and you have to dodge the potholes. And I think a lot of other people, well, not a lot, but some other people are better equipped for that than others. And I think a lot of ways the minority youth are poorly equipped to have discipline and have impulse control for a lot of reasons that we'd be all day talking about. So that's the most valuable lesson I learned, to control my emotions, to have discipline.
Okay. Who do you intend to get on for future guest stars? I know you said your mom, your sister, and your daughter. Is there anybody else, any friends that have been incarcerated?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. My friends that are incarcerated, I'm still really close with them. I'm going to have a lot of them on all through the spectrum, guys who are doing really well and guys who are not. For whatever reason, we're going to analyze those situations. Guys who are trying to help people who are coming home. I'm going to have pastors on. I'm going to have personal trainers on, politicians, everybody that's relevant. I mean, eventually we're going to get into prison reform. So I'm sure I'm going to have some activists on. We're going to try to approach this situation from every side, every way I can, every angle.
Okay. So I'm going to let you go in a minute, but I got a couple questions left.
Okay.
First, I had to pitch your show in 5 words or less to the general public. What would you say?
Wow, you're going to do me like that, Kendall. You are something else. You are something else. Gayle King, watch out. How to pitch my show in 5 words or less. Man, raw, uncut, and the things that come with that.
I think that's 6.
You count it? You count it? I can't believe this.
Of course
I can't believe this. You better not edit out any word either.
I think you cheated. All right. Okay, we'll let it pass. We'll let it pass with 6.
Yeah.
But I think that's the last question that I have for you. I said it was 2, but it ended up just being 1. So I'd like to thank you for your time. And I hope that Fresh Out becomes everything you want it to be.
I appreciate you. And world, everybody who's watching, y'all give it up for Kendall. She just finished her first year of college. She is. We're gonna be seeing her and hearing her name in a lot of different places. But that's one of the aims of my show: getting us out there, getting our community out there, getting everybody out there. So you guys be checking for her as well. She's interviewing me on my show. She got to be a really special person.
Thank you.
All right, my people, I appreciate y'all being here. I'm happy to include y'all in my healing. I hope you come back next week and let's do it all over again. Let's get everything out and let's help each other grow. This is Albert Robinson. I'm hoping to see you guys again with Fresh Out. Have a good day.
Fresh Out with Albert Robinson has been brought to you by the Central Woodward Community Partnership.
More when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no longer about. My name came up a lot, it sounds more when I was not around. Certain people that I know,
A
they
Real
ain't no
Roots
longer about. My
multimedia
name came up a lot, it
production.
sounds more when I was not around. Certain people that I know, they ain't no